morning. So, for the next couple of days, we are going to be romanticizing spring. It is Sunday today, and tomorrow is bank holiday Monday, so I have tomorrow off, and I just want to make the most out of the 2 days. So, we are going to be doing some cozy hobbies, hopefully, get out if the weather holds up, and just make the most out of it. Now, the first thing I want to do is actually journal. I have been consistently journaling for a year, maybe a year and a half. And during that, it's all been like handwritten journals. However, for the past month, I've been using Notion to journal, but I do kind of miss the handwritten journal. So I am going to journal today. And I have recently been using this journal, which is called Obsessed with Growth. And I basically want to do the daily spread. And then there are also some pages in here which are more about like future self journaling, progress check, and a free write spread as well. So I want to do those this morning and then probably pick it up a little bit later on as well. So that is the first thing that we are going to do today. Okay, so I did do all of the journaling that I wanted to do. I did all of those pages and I flicked through some of the previous pages and I realized that I haven't journaled in here since March and we are now at the beginning of May. So it's been just over a month. So this is definitely something that I want to pick back up and start doing more consistently again. And today is the first day of that, which really feels so good. So I'm glad I've done that. And I did actually want to go on a bit of a walk, but it is colder outside than I expected it to be. So I did put this jacket on. I still will go for a walk because I'm trying to get my 10K steps every day, but I don't know if I'm going to do that now or if I'm going to wait and hope that the sun comes back out and then go. But that is something that I'm hoping to do too. What I've decided is I'm going to go on a walk, maybe like 15-20 minutes, and just to get those steps in because like I said, I am trying to get 10K a day or like most days. And then my treat for doing that is when I come back, I can make myself a warm drink and do some reading. I am currently reading Air of Fire. I actually started this in a previous video and I'm not too far in. I think I'm almost at 20% of the way through, but I am enjoying it. So I want to read this a little bit more today. So I think that's what we're going to do. Let's go for a walk and then we'll come back and we'll read this. Hello, so I read for about an hour and I am now on chapter 18. I'm definitely enjoying it. However, there are a lot of new characters and stories that are being introduced, which is taking me a minute to wrap my head around, which might be why I'm reading a little bit slower. But I'm definitely enjoying it and I'm hoping a little bit more reading of this book and I will understand it better and I'll be able to understand the stories that are working in parallel a bit more so I won't be so slow with reading it, but I am enjoying it. And then when I went on my walk, I actually went into my local bookshop and I picked up a couple of notebooks. They had such stunning notebooks and they also had really cool books with sprayed edges. However, those books aren't ones that I personally love, so I didn't get any, but I will definitely make sure to go back and check it out more often to see if they have any books that I personally enjoy. But I did get two notebooks. So the first one I got is this, which is like pink and flowery. And then it has these sprayed edges, which was just so cute. So I had to get it, and I will use this as my creative scrapbook slash journal after I finish the one that I'm currently using. So that's what I'm going to use this for. And then it's just like it's oh, and then it's just like a general notebook. So I'm excited to use that. The other notebook I got was this. Let's just take this off. Look how stunning the cover is. I had to get it. I don't know what I'm going to use it for, to be honest, but I'm sure I'll figure something out because I always use my notebooks. But it was just so gorgeous. I had to get it. So I'm very excited about this one too. But those were my little purchases for today. And what I'm going to do next is I actually have recently really been wanting to. I've been recently getting back into like drawing and painting and those kind of things. And I really want to draw or create something that is based on the books that I love. So at the moment, I'm thinking of doing one like Akatar themed. So I really want to do that. And I initially thought I would just start this off in my sketchbook and go for it, but I've decided to instead use my iPad, use Procreate, and use that to kind of understand the layout of what I want to create because I'm not really sure. So I'm going to use that to experiment with the characters, with what I want to show, with where things are, and then I can use that as a base for when I actually bring it into my sketchbook and start building that up. So I'm going to start that now. Hello, it is Monday now, and I think it's like midday, and I have been reading Air of Fire. I think yesterday afternoon, evening, I started to get to the point in the book where things were picking up, where we were really getting into the plot, and so I haven't really been able to put it down. So I'm now on chapter 27, which I think is about 40% of the way through, and I'm really enjoying it. So we've gotten over the kind of introductory chapters of any book and we're getting more into the plot. Things are starting to happen. We're starting to see how things might progress and we're just getting into the main plot of the story, which I'm really, really enjoying. That's always a great place to be. And so I just keep picking it up and I keep wanting to read, which I love to do. And I love being in that place with a book where you're just yearning to pick it back up. So that's where I am with this. I'm really, really enjoying it. I'm hoping to read a bit more of it maybe later today. But that's where we are with Air of Fire. And then yesterday I mentioned that I wanted to do some like drawing on Procreate as like a base. I actually didn't end up doing that because I ended up reading and I also was just like relaxing, watching TV, that kind of thing. So I'm going to do that now instead. And yeah, I think I have an idea of what I want to create. I just want to use Procreate to do it as like a base and figure out where I want things in the piece so that I can use that going forward. So that's what we're going to do now. And I've never actually done this before, so it's going to be new for me to use Procreate in this way because usually I just use it to draw a piece straight away or I go straight into my sketchbook. So using my iPad to digitally create like a base that I can then later on work from, I think would be a really good way for me to experiment without feeling like I'm wasting paper or wasting space in my sketchbook because on the iPad I can just delete it or redo it or whatever. So I think it will be a really good way for me to start using this and to hopefully create more often. But yeah, let's do that right now. The first thing I did was open up Pinterest and look at some references for Akatar. I just wanted a couple of ones that would help inspire me for this piece, but I didn't want too many because I wanted it to remain my creation rather than being influenced by what I was seeing. So I just had a couple that I could kind of look at if I was a bit stuck. And then I set up where I was going to draw, and I actually used my easel for this, which I have never done before. I usually only use my easel when I'm painting, and even then, it hasn't been that often. But I thought it would be a good way to keep my iPad upright, and this was super successful. So I'm definitely going to be using it more often, not only for this, but also when I'm sketching in my sketchbook rather than strictly for the odd times that I'm painting, because it was comfortable and it just helped me focus a bit more for some reason. So I'll definitely use it more in the future. And then it was time to actually try and draw the base. I definitely was just drawing a very quick, basic understanding of where I wanted things to be placed, and I played around and experimented a little bit with this, but I did already kind of have a good understanding of where I wanted things to be, and it was nice to just put it down. So I have done that sketch, and like I said in the voiceover, it was a very quick sketch because I just wanted the basis of it, and I had a pretty good idea in my head of where I wanted things to go. I just wanted it down so that I could make sure that's what I liked, and I did experiment a little bit, and I think I've got an understanding of what I want where. Mostly there are things that I might change, but I also started to think about maybe developing a bit more on Procreate, and I realized that I actually didn't want to do that. I wanted to develop it in my sketchbook, and even if that means I try it a few times until I actually like what I get, then so be it. I think it will be quite fun and a way to practice as well, because I am very rough with my sketching and stuff because it's been so long, and I want it to be part of my life again. And so I know at least the first few times, if not longer than that, it will be hard to start a piece and to keep it going because it's not going to be what I want it to until I've developed my skills up a bit more or a lot more. But that is something that I'm kind of getting over in terms of the fear of it not being good, and instead just focus on like the enjoyment of it, because thinking about this piece and creating something again is just getting me so excited, and I haven't had that in a long time. So I'm really looking forward to continuing it. I don't think I'm going to sketch it today because I need like a good chunk of time to really just sit down, sketch, play around with it. So it might be next weekend that I do, or maybe when I have some more time in the week. But that's where I am with that, and I'm so glad that I got that done because it's just opening me back up into the world of sketching, drawing and painting, mostly sketching. I think that's what I'm feeling more drawn to at the moment, and it's just opened me back up to all of that, which is so exciting. Good evening. You're shaking. Good evening. It has been a few hours. It's actually about 7 p.m. now, and I've got my peppermint tea and I'm ready for the evening. And I just had a package arrive, and I'm pretty sure they are books. So let's just unbox them together. Okay, we got there. So I have got two books, and wow, they are big books. I guess they are indie published, which might be why they're bigger size, but love that. So I have joined a few book clubs on Fable, and both of these books were chosen as the read for May in two separate book clubs. And I've been really enjoying reading books on the app. because it's just been fun to comment and talk about the book with other people and have a discussion about it. I've just really been enjoying it. So I would like to keep it up. And these two were books that I wanted to read anyway. And so because they were chosen on separate book clubs, I figured I'd get the physical copies because I already wanted to read them. I do often otherwise read them on Kindle Unlimited, but because these were already ones that I wanted to read, I figured I'd get the physical copy. So I don't know much about either of these. On Wings of Blood, I have heard a lot of good things, especially from Mariana Rees on her Instagram and YouTube. She's mentioned it a few times and she really enjoyed it. So I'm hoping this will be fun to read. Let's just read the blurb. At Bloodwing Academy, blood is power and love is a dangerous game. I didn't sign up for this. A half-fae in a school of high-blood vampires. That's a recipe for torment. I'm Medra Pendragon, last of the dragon riders, or so they tell me. Funny thing is, there are no dragons left, not a single one, but somehow that hasn't stopped the vampires from deciding I'm worth capturing. Now I'm stuck at Bloodwing Academy, where the High Bloods run everything and Blightborn like me, we're just blood in their veins, pawns in their games. But that's not even the worst part. Enter Blake Draccaro, cold, arrogant, and way too gorgeous for his own good. He's been tormenting me since the moment we met, and now, thanks to some ancient ritual, we're betrothed. He acts like he owns me, but I'm not going down without a fight. Bloodwing isn't just a school, it's a battlefield. Highbloods fight for power, and if you're weak, you're dead. Between deadly competitions, lies that could get me executed, and a dragon-shaped secret looming over my head, all I have to do is survive. Easy, right? Except I'm starting to think the real danger isn't the academy, it's what I'm becoming in this twisted game of power. And Blake, he might just be the one who pushes me over the edge. They think they can control me, they think they can use me, but they have no idea what they've awakened. So this sounds interesting. It sounds like enemies to lovers, dragons, we've got fae, we've got an academy, we've got vampires. It's kind of making me think of Fourth Ring just in terms of the enemies to lovers, the dragons, the academy. Not that that's a bad thing. Like I enjoyed those things in that book, so why would I not enjoy it in a new book? And these are obviously different characters, so this will be fun to read. And the second book is called Riftbourne. So on this blurb it says, he was striking in a cold-blooded kind of way, like his beauty was tinged with poison, unassuming, alluring even. I brought my eyes up to meet his. Fear, Riftborn? The words dripped from his lips like blood from a dagger. 20 years after a rebellion branded her an outcast, Fear Riftborn navigates a city rife with prejudice so deep it's often deadly, but she harbors a secret, one that would paint an even larger target on her back. A hidden power within her is growing, threatening to destroy everything she's built for herself. Enter the elusive Cid General Larrock Ashford. I think I butchered that name. Who is building a unit of powerful wielders within the Guard to face a growing threat. Wraiths of darkness devour the western border, leaving a trail of death and destruction in their wake. When Fear's power erupts and two daughters of nobility are seemingly dead, General Ashford offers her a chilling choice: join the Cid Guard or face execution, because Fear might be the only hope for the Owl's survival. Torn between surrendering to the chaos and becoming a weapon for those who took everything from her, Fear must confront her growing feelings for the general and face a dark truth that could shatter everything she's ever known. So that's the second book, and like I said, I will be reading both of these over the next few weeks during May and in the book clubs, which I'm very excited about. But that is it for this video. I have enjoyed this weekend so much, especially with reconnecting with sketching and just enjoying my hobbies and making the most out of the weekend, even though the weather wasn't the best. So I've really enjoyed that. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next one. Bye!